Good evening and welcome to the 30 Day Mental Diet. I'm Pastor Jeffries. I'm the pastor of the Philadelphia Church of Universal Brotherhood, located in Brooklyn, New York. We're at 530 Eastern Parkway, corner of Nostrand and Eastern Parkway in Brooklyn, New York. And welcome to the 30 Day Mental Diet. We're on day 19. Time seems to be zipping along. We've done 19 of these tremendous studies, and we're getting to know each other. We're getting to know who we are. We're getting to realize that we have a lot in common with each other. But what we have that is common to all of us is that infinite mind, that mind of God that is in us. We all have a spark of that divinity, and we want to discover our place in life. Tonight is lesson 19, and the name of the lesson is Discover Your Place in Life. You could also name it Discover Your Place in God, because God is life. And we've found out that where you are, God is. We've found out that you have a relationship with Him, and the more we explore that relationship, the more we get to know Him, the better off we are. I'd like to open up with prayer, so to invoke the Spirit of the Lord. Eternal Father and our God, we're thankful for another night with you. We're thankful that we gather together to study the laws of the universe, those metaphysical laws, those laws that are laid out in the Bible. And when we follow these laws, our lives are full and rich and abundant. And we get to realize just how great we are and who we are in you. As we study tonight, we're asking you to help us to discover our place in life. These mercies we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. By the way, we're studying from the book entitled The 30 Day Mental Diet by Willis Kennard. And I encourage you to get that book. It's not too late. As a matter of fact, you can use it as a textbook or a guide to keep yourself online and in focus throughout the year. We do this every year because we tune up and get ourselves ready to celebrate the Passover. We all know that Jesus Christ is our Passover. And the 30-day mental diet culminates on in really April 19th with the grand Passover service, and we are all invited at 530 Eastern Parkway, Brooklyn, New York. You're all invited. So we want to take this pretty serious. The lesson tonight points out that in many instances, certain abilities just naturally blossom forth. At other times, you may seek to discover that new capabilities you might possess, then cultivate and develop them. In other words, there's some that are natural and they come forth. Uh, just notice that they're blooming and you're happy about it, you're proud about it. But sometimes you have to search and see what new capabilities you might possess, and then once you understand that and you find them, you cultivate and develop them. In many situations, or in whatever direction you may think you are best able to give up to the world what you have, there is a proper place for you to do so. In other words, once you find your capabilities, you want to share them, you want to give them to the world, and there's a proper place for you to do so. What is the source of your ability? Well, that's getting easier and easier to answer as we study. We understand that the into we understand that God is our one source. We understand that that integral mind of God is all around us, and He's our source and He's our resource. In order to find your proper place in life in relation to what you have to contribute, it is it is first necessary that you have a firm understanding of the nature and the source of your ability. Fundamentally, life is an active, constructive, and purposeful endeavor. And this activity and purpose do not end with the creation of you, but of necessity, it continues through what you are and what you do. You see, you were born for a purpose. You were born for with a reason. You were born with capabilities and gifts, and you were given these things not just for yourself, but to utilize for others. You see, God sent you here with a purpose. He has a will for your life. Fundamentally, life is an active and constructive, and it's a purposeful endeavor. And this activity and purpose do not end with your creation, but it continues through you and as what you do and what you give. And we want to keep that in mind and utilize our gifts and utilize our abilities. Life has something to express and create through you. I want you to remember that because it's so important. I want to say that again. Life has something to express and create through you. You have been graced with intelligence and individualization of the infinite intelligence. And it's up to you to recognize this and to do something about it. You are an individualization of infinite intelligence. In other words, you are a co creator with God. We had that in one of the previous lessons, and we don't want to forget that. You were made in His image and you were made in His likeness, and He gave you dominion over the earth. So you're to rule and reign down here. And you're to remember that these gifts that He gave you are to be used for the good of others, not just for yourself, but for other people that are involved in life with you. Okay? Interrelationships. Although at times nature may seem to be wasteful and over extravagant, close examination will disclose that there's a reason and a purpose in all things. At some point and in some way, everything to a degree is dependent on everything else. In this light, it can be seen that whatever it is in which you can excel, there is a right place and a right way for you to do it. You have something to offer. Everybody has something to offer. Uh, there is an art to getting along with people. This book is so explicit. Who you are, we started out with who you are. That was lesson one. Where you are was lesson two, and we found out that where you are is the center of the universe. And you have something to offer. No matter where you are, you have something to offer. Often in your work and activities, you may feel that you are not allowed to contribute the best of your ability, and as a result, you do nothing. That enables you to have a sense of being creative. Just because you feel that way, you don't want to give in to that feeling. You might not have. You might feel that you're not doing what you are able to do, but don't give up. Regardless of what work you are engaged in some way you need to find within yourself something that you can contribute to it. Whatever it is, I don't care what job you're doing, find a way to contribute something that you have to it. Give of yourself. Look for a way to bring something to the table, whether the endeavor is entirely to your liking or not, whether you are thrilled with the job or you're just it's a stepping stone or you're just putting up with it right now to make ends meet. Do it to the best of your ability. See what you can bring to the table. See how you can make it better. See what you can contribute. For one thing, you'll get into it. It won't seem as boring, and you'll feel good because you're giving of yourself. Offer your talents to the church. Offer them to God. Offer them on the job. You have to use it or lose it. So you might as well find something good to do for someone else and to give of yourself. Start contributing. Life is a contribution. I'll never forget Dr. Jeffries' sermon. It was in the 80s that he said this. He made the statement that life is a contribution. You are made in the image of God. He put you here for a purpose and He put you here to contribute. A possible key to finding the proper place or activity for the release of your ability is always to contribute. You find a way to release your abilities when you look to contribute. New ways and means of using your abilities will never stop unless you make use of every possible opportunity to offer something of what you are in all that you do. Uh, you develop when you do that also. You grow. Unless you learn to do this and do it with joy and enthusiasm, you may find that you inhibit the creative flow of life through you. You don't want to clog up the flow or put a stop on the flow of abundance and blessings and life through you. If you do that, you may become an automaton, I'm sorry, automaton. What is that? A robot. You don't want to slow up the flow of goodness. You don't want to stop the flow of life and become like a robot. You just want to use those abilities, keep yourself alive. You were created for this type of giving environment. You weren't created just to be stagnant. You must flow and give. Enjoy what you're doing. Find a way to enjoy what you're doing. Regardless of how high a goal you may have set for yourself or how lowly your present activity may be in relation to it, a negative attitude will prevent you from finding a better outlook for your abilities. So don't have a negative outlook. A negative outlook, it doesn't fit, and it does. It's not. You weren't built like that. You ever seen a person with a negative outlook, and they seem to be distasteful, and they even look different when they're negative, and the output and the aura, the sense that is around a person who's always complaining or finding fault or picking an argument. You don't want it to entertain those things. Okay, life is always waiting for you to permit it to flow more fully through your activity. There's always a right place and a right way and a purposeful reason for what it can contribute to itself through you. Life wants to contribute to itself, and it wants to do it through you. What do I mean by that? It wants to, God put you here and He made you in just like He made Himself. He made you to create, He made you to have your own way of thinking, your own mind to think. He made you with the ability to tap into His mind and to be productive and to be useful and to give of yourself. So there's always a right way and a right time to give and to live a purposeful life. And I want you to remember that. Now, science always agrees with this also, you know, and I like that because there's a right place for you in the scheme of life. What do I mean by that? There's a right place for you in the scheme of life. Uh, well, the scheme of life can be looked at as the will of life or the will of God. Uh, for there's a place that will provide you with the proper outlets for your abilities and at the same time offer you proper recompense. However frustrated or resentful you may be at the present time, it's necessary that you discard such feelings and always contribute your best. If you establish a pattern of thinking that you are always in the wrong, it usually works out that way all the time because that's your pattern of thinking, that's your dominant thought. And we always produce or outpicture our dominant thoughts. So think the right way. We've discussed that before in Life is for You and you have great possibilities. We've talked about this before. On the other hand, if you consider each day an endeavor or a challenge to give the best that you have, you will find that the best and the fastest way to find better opportunities for fuller expression of your creative ability is when you look to give. Giving is always the right thing to do. You know, in the Bible, in Genesis 15, Abraham knew his dominant thought. He knew that he wanted a son. I can relate to that because I always did want a son. And I knew I could relate to Abraham. He knew that he wanted a son. He said to the Lord, "Give me a son. I want an heir." And he said that to God. This was the right thing for him in the scheme of things. That was his will. And actually, it was the will of God to give him a son too. And he did it. Your right place. God's will for your life. You have to figure that out. Most of us know it. Some of us don't want to succumb to it, but a lot of us know it. And if you don't know it, all you have to do is ask. Ask the Lord, what is your will and your purpose for my life? He'll tell you. And it'll probably line up with what you thought it was. Um, anyway, it's interesting that our mental stimulants are lined up with this general thought as well. There was a sermon that I heard this statement made by Dr. Jeffries years ago. There is an imprint of the great creator on our personality. There's an imprint of God on yours. personality. And we have knowledge of it through the moral and spiritual harmony of the infinite mind at work within our inner man. Our personal destiny or purpose has been implanted in each one of us. And though we be different, they come from the one source. Your infinite mind and what is imprinted, your God, the creator, that is imprinted on your personality came from the one mind, the one source. And it shall be visible when you look to outpicture it. What do I mean by that? He put his will in you, and he put his purpose for your life, for you to follow, and for you to seek out. Ask and it shall be given. That's what the Bible says in Luke 9:11. Luke chapter 11, verse 9. It says, ask and it shall be given. Seek and you shall find. And knock and it shall be opened unto you. So look for it. Search for it. Learn to live a life where you strive to discover your place in life, your place in God's scheme of things, your place in the will of God. I like to put that out there like that because a lot of us overlook this. Sometimes we're scared to think about it. Sometimes we overlook it because we're busy and we don't really want to get bogged down in thinking like this. But if you discipline yourself and you call yourself to task and then ask the Lord to show you what His will for your life is, He'll do it. And what a richer, fuller, happier, enthusiastic, and loving life you'll live if you do this. Science puts it like this. Julian Huxley said, a richer and full, a rich and full personality in moral and spiritual harmony with itself and with its destiny. One whose talents are not buried in a napkin and whose wholeness transcends its conflict is the highest creation of which we have knowledge. And in its attainment, the individual possibilities of evolutionary process are brought to supreme fruition. In other words, there's a rich personality and it taps into your moral and spiritual harmony with itself. God is acting to better himself, to better his creation through you. Huh? That's good. And you have talents, so don't bury them, but use them. Okay? Philosophy says this. Rabindranath Tagore says this. I have no doubt that the great accomplisher of creation is directing within me with a single-minded purpose an inward awakening in spite of all obstruction and in spite of my own contradiction. So I want you to remember that the great accomplisher of creation is directing within you. Huh? He's alive and he's at work within you. And with a single minded purpose and for an inward awakening, for you to discover yourself and share and contribute to this world what he has blessed you with those blessings, right? Religion says this about this topic, and God is able to make all grace abound towards you, that you will always having all sufficiency in all things may abound to every good works. In other words, he's going to give you everything that you need to discover yourself. He's going to give you everything that will abound in good works. He wants you to contribute. Amen. The diet this evening is a very good one, and I'd like to read it with you. If you have the book, I want you to open the book and read along with me. I like to read the diet in the first person, and you follow along with me or repeat after me. I know that in the mind of God there is a reason and a purpose to be fulfilled through my life. I continually seek the greater potential which reside within me, knowing that as I recognize them, accept them, and express them, there is a right way and a right place for this creative activity. All frustrations and resentments about what I am now doing are discarded. I know that there are proper outlets for whatever abilities I possess and express. In all that I undertake, I discover what it is of myself that I can contribute to my endeavor. I am never at a loss as to what to say or what can in some way enhance all that I undertake. Today, I know that I am in my right place and I rightfully give it the best that I have. My right place tomorrow may be not the same as today's, for as I increasingly permit the creative expression of life through me, ever greater opportunities open up to me. I know that my life is made clear, that I am guided and directed in a manner that permits me to express the utmost, the innermost nature of my being. I continually find myself in my right place, and the reciprocal action of life properly returns to me in abundance in proportion to what I give to it. I give of myself. I give of my time. I give continually of the flow from the abundance of God. I and my Father are one. Isn't that beautiful? What a great sentiment. The capsule supplement says, I know that God is continually active and creative through me, and that there is a unique purpose for my being. I discover my rightful place in life so that I may give the best of what I am. In other words, spread the wealth around, spread the goodness around. Understand that you are a treasure. You're God's favorite child. Discover your place in life. Discover your place in God. Discover how you can give back and fall into line with the will of God for your life, fulfilling the purpose of your being here and sharing it with others. That's what God wanted you to do. That's why He made you. And when you read this book, I like it because it's a 30-day mental diet. And it really sows into your life good and wholesome uh, thoughts and encouragements. And that's what we need along the way so we can pass it on to others. Well, I feel that we've had a pretty good study tonight. I'm very pleased. I'm happy that we can share this time together. We're going to be doing day number 20. Peace of mind can be yours. That's the lesson number 20. We're going to be on tomorrow evening, same time, same place. So I'll see you at 9 o'clock. By the way, we are also on the telephone. So I want you, if you can't get to a YouTube channel, you can also dial in and figure out or listen to our message on the prayer line. And that prayer line number is 1 605 475 6711. Again, 1 605 475 6711. And the access code that they'll ask you for is 2104138, and then the pound sign. Again, it's 2104138 pound. That's the access code. See you tomorrow night and have a blessed evening.